Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Welcome to the Dailies.
Okay, what are the stories making the rounds once again today? What has been happening since yesterday? What are the decisions that our leaders had made since yesterday? What has happened across the country and how did how did they affect and concern us as Nigerians? That is why we have the ultimate newspaper review show right here in the Kunle Amzat studio. My name is Wuraola Yusuff and I'll be doing this with the great maestro in the studio as usual. Alright, I'll be taking it from the front pages of our daily newspapers as usual. On the front page are off at the Punch newspaper. On page 2, landowners sue federal government over 15 trillion naira Lagos Calabar highway. Two right after that story, the first one says Umahi vows to continue project, insists government paying compensation. Federal government rules out new roads in 2025. Plans to complete existing project. That is the second writer to that story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Page 21 says Dangote refinery begins petrol production test run. That is what we have on page 21. On page 7, Tinubu cuts short France trip, swears in CJN today. A report on page 21 says NNPC directors' expenses jump by 214%. Alright, Minister writes Finance Ministry over SANU, NASU withheld salaries. Page 29. Page 4 and 5 has details to the story that says 6 End SARS protesters freed after 4 years detention. Page 11, bandits kill 13 Niger farmers, allege leaked information. Moving on to the Guardian newspaper this morning, this one on page 6 says, do not destroy PDP. Daily Momodo warns as a party's crisis worsen. Knocks for immigration over passport fee hike. Page 3 has details of that story. Federal government fumes as terrorists kill 12 abduct minors in Niger. Page 29 of the Guardian newspaper has details of the story. Alright, this one says Chinese firm continues seizure spree with another Nigerian jet in Canada. To the Vanguard newspaper right now, this one says on the issue of the End Bad Governance protest, this one is saying release detained protesters and now Onayeka Arewa Youth CSOs are the ones that are saying this on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, page 5. Quite a lot of letters to that one. The first one says arraign or release protesters before August 25 or face legal action, Falana tells the federal government. Says adequate notice must be given suspect to enable them contact NBA families for defense. Resolves to defend cases filed against protests by two protesters by two state FCT. Ask NHRC to investigate killing of 22 protesters. Over 30 lawyers coming to court for 27 protesters. That one is coming from Adinyojo. Condemns the ill treatment of detained protesters. And lastly, UNESCO calls for protection of journalists covering protests worldwide. Coming from the Prime Minister Adelabu on page 20 this morning of the Vanguard newspaper, federal government moves a differential tariff to stimulate demand. On our Gyros police summons this morning, we have the story on page 8 saying, Obi cautions federal government as Nupeng puts oil workers on red alert. State House 2024 budget will be on actual requirement. That one is coming from the presidency on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. The stories alongside others are what we have to discuss this morning. I will try as much as possible to pick the most vital ones and discuss with, of course, the great Maestro in the studio. Good morning, Maestro.
Good morning.
You're welcome. How's been the week?
Yeah, hectic a little bit. But we thank God for His mercies.
As always.
Yes.
All right, then. Let us talk about the protesters. In the news this morning, we have a story concerning the End Bad Governance protesters. We also have the one talking about the End SARS protesters. So now they're saying 4 years after, part of the people that were, some of the protesters that were arrested then are going to be released. Now, freed. That is the word used. 6 NSAS protesters freed after 4 years detention. But right now, we still have a news talking about the fact that there are some people, because I think the news said over 1,400 protesters are still in custody. They have not been taken to court or anything like that. So,
yeah, I think those are different cases.
Two different cases.
So maybe we should apply our minds to them differently also. The first one, we said it on this platform that it is absolutely wrong to hold people indefinitely to whatever it is. We have laws, and they should have been taken to court and so on. But that process was observed in breach. And so we can't get tired of saying this kind of, draconian treatment must stop. But how do we get these things to stop? Because it's easy to just say it must stop and then we walk away until the next one happens.
Exactly.
So the way I look at issues is not for us to be saying, okay, government has done badly in this instance, and we go. And another one happens because government is a continuum. And that culture remains. Government to government, the culture of holding people against what the law says most of the time is a culture.
It remains in the system.
Of the police. So that is what we need to face. But how do we face that? We've talked about this for almost the stretch of my entire career. It's always been like that. It's reduced over the years because of the transition from military rule to civilian administration. But some of these things still remain with us. And they have to give way. And the only way they will give way is if, for instance, we're able to humanize our police system a little bit and put them under, the kind of control that could immediately take effect. That's state police. If you have state police, it will be much easier for people of a state to deal with their state police than to deal with federal government police that is thousands of kilometers away from you and whatever influence, whatever. So that's the way I always see these things. But thank God for lawyers, the NBA, who are always making a difference, in this instance. It used to be a, far hotter NBA in the past, but we thank God that the spirit is still there, and they are still coming up to represent people who couldn't even afford to represent, to pay for legal representation.
All right then. Is that concerning the end bad
That's
governance?
the NSAS.
End SARS. Okay.
For this one too, uh, in the final analysis, it is going to be the same thing. But you see, this one, we should look at it from different perspectives. One,
Okay.
you see the age grade of most of these people arrested, especially in the north. You see that they are very young people, very young. Some of them even, I doubt if some of them are even 18 yet, which is the the age the law begins to treat you as a man. And so it raises a far bigger problem for us to attend to than, this detention. The detention should be attended to by all means. It shouldn't be happening like that. I said it that they should check them and see how many of them they could release immediately. It is still going to happen like that, but they will drag, their feet first. They are going to check and see how many of these people they want to release, those ones who did not commit any crime. They might have, exhibited a little bit of aggression against the police
During the
during
protest.
the protests. That might have happened, but they didn't throw any stone, they didn't hit any policeman, they didn't kill any policeman, they did not wound any policeman. And so those ones should, be released so that you have the very few ones who actually maybe touched buildings, set buildings ablaze. There's no way I'm going to say release that kind of person. People who were caught actually vandalizing stuff, people who might have committed one crime directly or the other.
But they should be arraigned.
Yes, we're separating these things,
Okay.
right? So when you check the ones, and they are in the majority who didn't do anything other than come out to protest, and then maybe they did some kind of standoff, those ones should be released, and they will be in their hundreds. The ones who actually did, commit crimes, they should be arraigned naturally. They shouldn't be held, indefinitely. We have always been against things like that. Arraign them, take them to court, and if the court now says you could detain them, it becomes another matter entirely. Now you have the right to detain those ones.
Okay.
But holding people in thousands is just wrong. It's just wrong, and something should be done about it quickly.
All right. Falano says that these people should be arraigned or released before August 25, or else the federal government would face legal actions from them.
It's a good thing, to give that kind of ultimatum. It makes people work faster because how long ago did we have all these things happen? And now, weeks after, people are still in detention there. And most of them are just kids who should... but the bigger problem that I talked about is we are building an army of, very angry young people who are not... who don't have the kind of education that the Western education. And so, in another 10 years... I doubt if it will be even up to that. In a few years down the line, we might have a situation where the enforcement system will not be able to cope with the future we are building right now. And so, as we say that we have a problem in the Southwest where we have to go and buy all we want to eat from other places, they have a problem in the northern parts of this country, and that is the problem of simply breeding youths without, any kind of control mechanism, without, being able to take care of them the way, responsible adults should take care of little people, little children. And then in the Southeast, you also see what is playing out there. Southeast is melting into a kind of situation that nobody could even predict the immediate or far future of what's going on there. So if you divide us into three, for instance, and you are observing what is going on right now, that future is is scary. And if you do not do that which will take care of the problem right now, the future will happen while we are still at the petty issues. That future will come. And that time, nobody is going to be dealing with petty issues anymore, because the issues on our hands will be too massive for us to be dealing with petty issues. So what the wise man does first, the fool does last.
All right then. But the ultimatum today is 23, and Monday should be 25. So we're looking forward to what will be done in a few days. I mean, today is Friday, and it's 23, and 25 is a Monday. It's just a Monday there. All right then. Let us move on from that to this story concerning NBA, saying that judges must restore public trust and justify their pay rise. And in this studio, we've talked about the fact that a pay rise is not the only thing that will make the judiciary system in Nigeria to be more accountable and for people to trust them better. But now we have the outgoing president of the Nigerian Bar Association telling them that the pay rise you just got, make it count. Let us justify it and just improve in all this for people to know that, yes, the judiciary can actually work better without corruption.
It's a speech. It's just a speech, you know. I don't know if an NBA president of this current movement in Nigeria has the that moral platform to tell judges to justify one thing or the other. Because who stands in front of the judges to plead these cases? The judges themselves are lawyers. The NBA chairman and NBA, everybody, they are all lawyers. And if one of them is going to come out and say, justify this pay that you're getting, that would be very interesting. You know, it's a very interesting scenario that one would love to, because judges don't just judge cases. You know, you have lawyers coming. Okay, let me give you an interesting scenario. And they say this is professional. That is the license that lawyers have to go to the Oro cult and eat there, and then cross over to the Egungun Grove and also feast there. So you have the current minister and attorney general who was the one handling the case of the governors on local government autonomy. He was he was the one handling that. And then he became minister, and then he switched portfolios. Now he's handling the federal government, local government autonomy, you know, side. Is the one who went to court.
Switch sides quickly.
So, well, these things are explained the way that, look, it's part of our profession. And it's difficult to swallow it. It's also difficult to spit it out. But we just take it that that's what the learned people say. But in all honesty, I do not believe that that person has the moral platform to tell judges to justify, you know, whatever they are, you know, earning. How much justification has he done of his own?
Well, Maestro, separating the message from the messenger now.
Yeah, but I would always find that difficult.
I know.
I know it sounds so good, but I also try as much as possible to refrain, to not be mindless of that which sounds good and that which is actually good, because there is a difference between the two. And I try as much as possible I must do that separation first. Then I can now attend to the lesser issue, which is that of the messenger.
All right, then. We have to go pay some bills now. But I must say, Abdurrahman, thank you for the correction. 25 will be Sunday. So let's see what happens concerning the protesters case. Right now, we have to go pay some bills. When we're back, continue the conversation in the studio because there are still a lot of things to talk about. We'll be back.
88.7 FM.
Start your day and have a good time. Kivo Krima. Even when you need to clear your eyes. Kivo Krima. Or when you need to have the break time. Kivo Krima. If not tea, Papa Garita. Kivo Krima. Kivo Krima. Kivo Krima. Kivo Krima.
Good time moments with Kivo Krima.
Kivo Krima.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí aláboyún, ó ṣe pàtàkì kí n tọ́jú ara mi kí n sì wà ní ìlera pípé.
Kí ìwọ àtoyún inú ẹ lè wà ní ìlera tó péye. Máa lo oògùn ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó ní áyọ̀nù nínú àti folic acid lójoojúmọ́ lákòókò tó bá lóyún. Eléyìí ń dènà àìtó ẹ̀jẹ̀ nínú oyún, yóò sì jẹ́ kóyún wà lálàáfíà. Fún ìlera pípé, ẹ máa yọjú sí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ elétò ìlera yín fún ìtọ́jú oyún nígbà tó yẹ. Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkànṣeṣẹ́ ARIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Are you passionate about securing a promising future for children and contributing to quality education? Then join forces with us, Oyo State citizens, philanthropists, alumni associations, esteemed companies, and distinguished individuals at home and abroad under the leadership of His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde. The Oyo State government has taken measures to ensure that every child has access to quality education. With the Oyo State Education Trust Fund, we provided textbooks, constructed and renovated school buildings, among others, but we can't do it alone. Be part of this giant stride through contributions in various forms. For more information and clarification, please call 0818-194-7496 or 0706-943-8519. This message is from the Oyo State Education Trust Fund under the leadership of its chairman, Barrister Rahman Abiodun Abdurrahim.
Sure, babe, welcome. Why you for see the food stuff when you carry enter house?
Now the latest millionaire in town, the follow talk.
Millionaire? How? How you take up yummy?
Now play and win.
Yes, so now every day, 5 people go they win 25,000 naira. 3 people go win 50,000 naira. 2 people go win 100,000 naira. And 1 person go win the grand prize of 1 million naira every week. Oh, if you want join body, just dial *945 *000 *795 plus 250 ash if you be Wema Bank customer, or *966 *000 *795 plus 250 ash if you be Zenith Bank customer, or you fit follow our social media page on Top Play and Win NG for Motori. You fit also call 090-44-444-863 or 090-44-444-896. The more you play, the more the chance you get. Oh, Play and Win dey licensed by the National Lottery Regulatory Commission. Play and win your time to shine.
Guys, let's go and get seats at that table with Semovita.
Sorry, this table is reserved for the bride's family.
Do you know who I am? I'm the older brother of the sister's last uncle who married their first cousin.
Everybody wants a seat at the Golden Penny Semovita table. Golden Penny Semovita remains my soup's first choice. It's made from premium wheat and fortified with vitamins and minerals to provide a wholesome bowl food that pairs well with Nigerian soups. Golden Penny Semovita, my soup's first choice.
Babies are God's gifts to parents, and breast milk is God's gift to babies. It contains all the important nutrients and minerals your baby needs, including water, for the first 6 months. Give your baby breast milk only. Remember, breast milk only for the first 6 months. This message is from the ANRIN Project, Oyo State Ministry of Health.
88.7 FM.
All right, you're welcome back, and of course, this is still your ultimate newspaper review show right here in the Kole Hamzat studio. Okay, still talking about the judiciary. We have this news saying that President Tinubu cut short of his France trip to swear in at the CJN today. And one of the news that's also coming from the president to the new CJN, Justice Kudirat Kikerioko, is that she should carry on the baton passed on by the retired CJN, Olukayode Ariwola, and ignore those who never see anything good in the judiciary unless the pendulum of justice swings their way. This is what the president have for the new CJN, Maestro.
That thing is a good decision by the president to return to perform this duty. Because it's sometimes you can't send anybody, even your child, to the toilet on your behalf. So you have to undertake it yourself. In any case, if you decided to go ahead with pre-planned functions, you have a lot of useless noise back home about certain narratives that are not even meaningful. So I think even returning is still going to be like that. A lot of jobless people are still going to come and say, you probably shouldn't have returned, and all manner of mess. But I think it's the best decision to return, take care of business. And concerning the statement that you should continue and ignore people who would
never see anything
only
good.
Be happy when it swings. It's a natural thing. I don't know if anybody could get rid of that. It's always going to be that when judgment favors you, you say, okay, this is democracy at work. The judicial system is the last hope of the common man, and all these eulogies will start happening. When it goes against you, then democracy has collapsed. It is the end of time, and all that doom saying will also be happening. So we need to understand this, that it is the nature of man. We are only satisfied when things are, working our way. When we hear the kind of things we want to hear, when judgment favors us, and so on. And so that is, I told you yesterday about Donald Trump that already rejected an election if he would, lose the election. But we must not now, because of all that, which are facts, forget that our entire system is soaked in corruption. Totally soaked in corruption. If you go and look at the judgment that ratified the second term of President Muhammadu Buhari, I mean, as a layman myself, I saw the judgment and I listened to it live. And then I sat down, I read it. Nothing added up. It just did not add up. And you saw, especially at the appeal setting, they were raising issues that the lawyers did not even raise. And a lot of things happened. And so, but apart from that, there are natural faults, maybe they are not even natural. There are faults which you could point at, which is not even corrupting or perverting the cause of justice, but things like, how do they come into those positions? They are appointed by people, by potential, litigants. They are grateful to potential litigants. People who will come to those courts in the future. They are the ones who appoint them. So, how is that going to work? And human beings were naturally, there is a part of us that bows to that kind of grace.
Being grateful.
So, there is no way that it will not affect things. And that is something that we should, all think about. Apart from that,
A second, Maestro.
It's 7 a.m. on Agidigbo 88.7 FM.
All right.
You promote people ahead of certain cases. Then, when those cases come, how on earth would I believe that this is justice coming to me? You know, you elevated people from the appeal court to the Supreme Court. And then when your case eventually goes to the Supreme Court, I am supposed to believe
that they're going to handle it.
That these things are not connected. It's very difficult for a normal human being to believe that those things are not connected. Look at what is going on in the United States Supreme Court. Donald Trump, as president, appointed many of those judges. When his case, especially he has many cases, but the one that appears to me to be the most important was, pleading immunity, that American presidents in office have immunity. It's not clearly stated in their law like our own. Our own, president, vice president, governors, deputies, they have ironclad immunity. But the judges that he appointed to the Supreme Court of the U.S., they gave a judgment and gave him partial immunity. So it becomes a law that U.S. presidents now, they have partial immunity.
He made that happen.
That is earth-shaking. But the point is, he appointed the judges who said, yes, you have some kind of immunity. So, and that's the United States. If you had an advanced economy in the world, that is the nation leading the charge. How much less here, where a lot of our systems are very crude? So, when we talk about judicial system most of the time in this country, and we are quick to rubbish them, I look around. I look at the judicial system that we are talking about. Then I look at the legislature. Then I look at the executive. And by far, the best of those three arms of government is the judiciary. By a long shot. And the reason might be because they do not have the kind of powers that the other two arms of government have. But when it comes to number one, number two, number three, as corrupt as we all are,
they are still better.
They have to come first by a long shot. It is not saying that we do not pervert the cause of justice or that our judicial system is not corrupt. It's all about putting things in perspective and knowing that people who come out, people like us, who talk about our judicial system and the corruption there all the time, we should be conscious of what's happening in peer arms, which is the legislature.
All right.
Which day would you see a judge riding, judges, magistrates, and so on, riding 167 million naira SUVs?
Or even with every security.
Voting trillions, and then so it's just we have to really be clear about the perspectives that we are building.
All right then. Before we talk about this one coming from the immediate past, CJ and Wuraola, let us talk about. You said something about the fact that these are the people that will say, "Oh, you've been promoted from here to here." These are the people that say, "Oh, you've been elevated." So how then would they not, in one way or the other, favor them when things come into before them, cases concerning these people? Is there a way we can go about it, or is there something we're supposed to do as a country to make sure that the election, should I say election or selection of these people, does not rest in the hand of those that will still come before them?
You know what judgment? I say? What I say is everybody will file out in millions. Will vote billions of naira to INEC to perform its duties. We will mobilize, the police, the soldiers, and everybody will be in the spirit. And we go, rain, shine. We go and perform our duties. And at the end of the day, it's just a few people who will actually determine all that effort wasted, or at least almost wasted. Then you have 3 people in the first instance who are going to say, in the cases of governors, you are the governor. So they are the electors, the actual electors, in the terms of what they call realpolitik. They are the actual electors. Then those millions of people who participated, what did they do? In the instance of, in the case of the presidential election, is this few judges at the appeal court, and then if it goes to the Supreme Court, fewer still. So what we need to do is to have an electoral system that is almost foolproof. That is the mission. And I've said it many, many times. One of the things that we have to do in the gap between now and restructuring, because that's the ultimate, whatever stopgap measures we take will not take us there. But we can do some things now to make our society better. So we need to apply technology to our elections. Crucially, so that very few cases will be going to court after the elections, because it will be too clear. There is nothing you will be able to do when you get to that court. So we need to apply technology. And because we've been mounting pressure for a very long time, it got to a point that they sold a dummy. They sold a dummy to people who are agitating for that kind of electoral system. And they kind of wrote something there.
Electoral reforms.
And then that electronic input was there, but it wasn't there, as sacrosanct.
They could change.
It was there, giving INEC the prerogative. There is a flexibility there that people did not mind very much before celebrating. But we saw it too and shouted on air. It wasn't in my bedroom that I was shouting. Don't dance. It's not Uhuru yet. They ignored. They were advertising going to get your voter's card. So in any case, not that I was very interested in anybody becoming anything. What I was interested in, and I'm still interested in, is to restructure the system. So we left one another alone for a while. But we are taking the blame today.
Maestro, I'm talking about the election of this judiciary system.
Yes, the judicial system.
The judicial system.
Yes.
These people we have there.
Yes.
Mostly we have the people from the executive arm telling us that, approving the elevation of these people.
Yes.
How can we do that? That wouldn't come from them. Talking about their independence.
Well, if you want to be creative about it, it could happen where they will be handling their own affairs.
Okay.
And so you can create a system where the Justice Department, as they have it in the US, will be Justice Department. But don't forget that I just also told you here today that Donald Trump approved the appointments of judges. But you see, at some point, they would go to Congress. They will sit in the Senate, for instance, and then defend their nomination. You don't see a lot of that here. And you see, the sad part is that we copied the system from the Americans. But we would pick and choose. We cherry pick the ones that we are going to adopt and the ones we will not adopt. And there's nothing really wrong, so terribly wrong about that. But the problem is the ones that we left alone, they appear to be the ones we should have, chosen, because they are like stopgaps. And even when we now say, all right, go and defend your position in the Senate as they do because we also do that sometimes. But when you get there, everything is set to ask you to bow and go. Take a bow and go. So nothing rigorous happens. In the United States Senate, the senators on both sides will be grilling you. The ones who favor you will be asking you romantic questions, which you will just be answering fluidly. Then the opposition will be grilling you.
Yeah.
So something might break at the end of the day. But we don't do that here. We simply, everything is prearranged and it will run through. Because even the opposition inside the National Assembly, they don't really play opposition. They don't. Because that place is, awash with cash. And I think what we target most of the time is cash. The ideals, they take second place or play out when you go to that place where it counts most. It's one of the problems that we have. It's also among us, in our everyday life, that we talk in such pious tones, but when it comes to what we actually do, it's another matter entirely.
All right. Finally, on the judiciary system in Nigeria, we have the outgoing CJ and Wuraola saying that the Supreme Court, they are so overwhelmed right now. And because there are quite a lot of cases that shouldn't get to the apex courts, but they are just dumped there, and it's just overwhelming.
It wasn't like that in the past, because and that's why we are saying let's restructure this system. You have a lot of cases that shouldn't be getting to the Supreme Court, the federal courts, and so on and so forth. But these things, the system is so unwieldy, and if you don't do something as drastic as restructuring, it will just continue. That is why sometimes you have ownership cases lasting 20 years.
In court?
Yes, or more. Sometimes you have some land cases lasting over 30 years. So they get to the Supreme Court and they rest there. Apart from the corruption in the system, some people might simply pay someone to just bury the book. And, you're looking for the case, you can't even see the file. While some would just be relegated, they will be relegated because of the order of importance would relegate some land cases and so on. So, but it has to be holistic. It's not something that we can just make a few suggestions and then we patch it here and there. It has to be holistic. We need to change the society. The mechanism running the society is rickety, is faulty. But even at the best of times, it was not designed to benefit Nigerians. So every time we are talking about our failures, it is success for the people who are getting billions of dollars from the system. And it has always been like that. The people who initiated transatlantic slave trade, they knew that this place was in a very bad shape. Every family would, be in trouble as soon as some of the family members are taken away. And that's widespread. And from there, even onto colonial times, they are taken away all the time. Today, we go and take crude oil. We take crude oil, we don't refine. We take it to them. Instead of refining and retaining the dollars here, retaining everything here so that the economy will be robust, we pack everything. And in packing everything, some people become billionaires. And so when they pack it to their masters, who are the key puppeteers, those economies, they are making billions of dollars on us.
Living our own.
That is the system. That is the cycle. And if we do not face this cycle, we just be there for so long. And then it's not going to stop. We'll pass the baton to the next generation. Hopefully, those ones will see better.
Hopefully. All right, then. We have to go pay some bills now. While we're back, we'll be taking it up from this story, not in the dailies this morning, but yesterday. We had the president of Nigeria, ably represented, launching the Ibadan CNG conversion incentive program. We'll be back.
88.7 FM.
Yo, it's time to switch up your streaming and social media experiences. Introducing the Glow My G bundle, the first all-in-one social and music bundle. It's the perfect bundle for texting, snapping, streaming, sharing, vibing, and everything you love doing online. With My G bundle, you get the data deals for Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, WhatsApp, Boomplay, Audiomack, and Glow TV, all in one bundle. Now you can make every naira count with affordable all-in-one data bundles with Glow My G. Get 1 gigabyte for 300 naira, 1.5 gigabyte for 500 naira, and 3.5 gigabytes for 1,000 naira on the Glow My G bundle. Plus, you also get 1 hour of free browsing on your favorite apps. That's Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, WhatsApp, Boomplay, Audiomack, and Glow TV. Dial *312# to start making every naira count with Glow My G bundle. T's and C's apply.
Glow Unlimited.
Tomato mix, stand up. Is it to open? Is it to squeeze? Is it to scoop? And is it to stir?
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand-up pouch.
Big mommy, add that bokoto we go senior school. Put 2 roundabout. Anoint the package with that slim thick shaki and
Uncle, no vex o. Which teeth you wan use eat all this orishi? That your teeth will be like where motor jam truck. E no dey worry you again.
that one na before. All thanks to the new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection.
That's right. The new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste gives you complete oral protection with fluoride and antibacterial zinc to keep your teeth strong, prevent tooth holes, and fight bacteria.
Please have to go buy my own new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste.
Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection for your important oral care needs. Available in a blue gel.
This world is not my home.
Oríṣi ìdí ló lè fà á tí ènìyàn fi nílò láti ṣe ìtọ́jú ẹbí, ará, ọ̀rẹ́ tàbí ojúlùmọ̀ ẹni lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí irúfẹ́ ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti papòdà kó tó di pé yóò wọ káàlẹ̀ lọ.
Òdodo ọ̀rọ̀ ló sọ bá àbèjì. Ìdí nìyí tí Elite Funeral Home fi wà láti bá yín ṣe ìtọ́jú ẹni yín tó ti lọ.
Elite Funeral Homes.
Elite Funeral Homes ló ń rẹ́ndà 100% embalmment tó ní guarantee. Bí irúfẹ́ ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe wà láti day 1 ló máa wà throughout the stay láì tú tàbí yọ any part of the corpse.
Mo débẹ̀ mo kọ sára torí àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ tòun ti rinṣẹ́ ìgbàlódé ló kún bẹ́ẹ̀ bíbà fún perfect embalmment and corpse preservation.
Ọwọ́jà Elite Funeral Homes ká orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà.
Elite Funeral Homes wà ní inú tó hospital òpópónà Gbági tuntun New Ife Expressway Ìwó Road area Ìbàdàn. Ẹ dẹ̀ lè pé 090-4346-4719 tàbí 081-03-851516. Elite Funeral Home, luxury hotel for the deceased.
Start your day and have a good time. Kivo Crema. Even when you need to clear your eyes. Kivo Crema. And when you need to have the break time. Kivo Crema. If not tea, Papa Garita. Kivo Crema. Kivo Crema. Kivo Crema. Kivo Crema.
Good time moments with Kivo Crema.
Kivo Crema.
Àbẹ́ ò rí nǹkan ẹ̀bùn pàtàkì látọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run lọ́mọ jẹ́ fáwọn òbí tómi ọyàn sì jẹ́ ẹ̀bùn Ọlọ́run fáwọn ọmọ ó ní gbogbo èròjà aṣaralóore pẹ̀lú omi tọ́mọ rẹ nílò fún oṣù 6 àkọ́kọ́ máa fọ́mọ rẹ ní ọyàn nìkan rántí o omi ọyàn nìkan fún oṣù 6 àkọ́kọ́. Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkọ́ṣeṣẹ́ ARIN iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
All right. So yesterday, the president of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was represented by the director and chief executive officer, the presidential CNG initiative. That is Engineer Michael Oluwagbemi, They launched the Ibadan CNG conversion yesterday at Ajibode. But I think so far in the news we've seen Abuja, we've seen Lagos, and now this is all your concerning the CNG conversion. Maestro, any comment?
No, nothing really. It's not as much as we will have it yet. So when the time comes, we can talk about how it's faring.
All right.
I think these are just gestures. It's kind of symbolic.
Launching.
To show that it has taken off.
All right then. This story concerning Niger killings. We have the federal government ordering security agencies to track foreign miners funding the banditry. And they also banned the mining in Shiroro sites for now, vowing to avenge the killing of 12 miners. In quote, what they said is that those who think they can invade the villages, kill innocent people to make way for illegal mining of their rich minerals will be shocked to discover that it is no longer business as usual. With the mining marshals working with the intelligence community, we shall fish out these hoodlums and put their hands to the fire. End of quote.
Anywhere on the continent of Africa where you have these resources, the system is for them to create crisis in those places, turn them to war-torn areas, and then they will be able to access the mines and take away the resources. This has been happening for a very long time around Africa. And I think that Nigeria should be an exception. We should do everything possible to stop these things. If we have to even, pull all stops to ensure that this kind of insult is not happening, the kind of insult that leads to, all these tragic losses. You have people, foreign interests coming in to carry out these activities. They fund it heavily. They come in, they fund it heavily, then they collaborate. They do these things in conspiracy with local forces, local powerful people, who make, who give them the kind of support. So they have a foothold, and they go on and do all the things that, they are doing. But you see, there is a way out of this problem.
Okay.
The only problem now is when we are going to effect that change. We need state police in this country. State police would give the police system in Nigeria enough men, more than enough. Because you have people in different localities who are ready to even volunteer. You understand? People want to volunteer to secure their places. They're out there. And also, you see, we are going to have a lot of jobs for people. We're going to have a lot of jobs for people who are marching out to say they want to protest every day. Will have jobs in these police systems of their states. And they will be gainfully employed. While at that, they will be securing their states at the same time. Instead of complaining, the police does not have enough men, therefore you want to recruit 10,000 at once, you are going to take in a lot of these marauders. There is no way they will not mix up. We have seen it before during the Obasanjo administration. They wanted to employ 10,000 policemen all over the country. They stopped at 4,000 because they were already recruiting armed robbers, Yahoo boys, and everything. But those who got in, they got in already. So the thing to do is to recreate this society, re-engineer the Nigerian society. And then we will be out of the woods very quickly. But if we continue with this structure, these are the things we will be saying every day.
All right then. So state police is the way to make things better.
Everybody knows it. But the people who are behind all these interests, who are making money, who are feeding off the chaos in Nigeria, Arijeni Madaru, they are the ones who are also dead set against having state police in this country.
And they are Nigerians.
Apart from the ones who don't even know the meaning of that state police. Besides, because we should say these things. My attention was drawn yesterday to a couple of stuff. I don't ever say people are not intelligent. It's not what I say. What I say is people should apply intelligence. And if I don't believe you are intelligent, I will not be asking you to apply it. Apart from that, I don't talk to everybody. Every time I talk here, I insist on very young people who have open mind.
Yes.
I'm not talking to people who already know everything and whose minds are closed. Those are not the ones I'm not talking to. I'm talking to very young people, maybe secondary school kids and so on. That's my target, not the professors. So let's put it at that. And the other one is microphone making the difference. Now, that's not very intelligent. The reason that's not very intelligent is you have about over 50 radio stations in Ibadan. And you could go and pick any microphone there, any of those microphones, and become whatever you want to become. So why would you allow a microphone, ordinary microphone, to make a difference between you and Maestro? Why don't you level up? Pick a microphone. Let the world hear you. And then you become whatever you want to become. So that's how that one goes. Because occasionally my mind is drawn, my attention is drawn. And I do this because of other people. It's not because of the people who are doing these things. It's because of other people who might think it is true. That's why I say these things.
All right. Mash, I have this interesting comment on Facebook about, I
Yes.
guess I'm going to read that later. Okay. Let me just take you now. President Funke Ojubola says, can Nigeria grow? Some often throw up excuses to cover up the president. The president have never been proactive and nor returned to address the terrible suffering of the masses arising. I'm coming from Petro Saga, but can return for the swearing in to look good before the new siege.
I told you.
All right, let us move on.
So that's the nature of social media. You have a lot of views coming at once, and they are all in a fashion you can call staccato. And so this one will come from, curious perspectives.
Different perspectives.
Yes, it's just like the marketplace. You are hearing all musical tones at once. Soprano, bass, everything is coming at once. So you also need to be able to sieve the ones that you consider valuable for the moment.
And concentrate on.
Yes, that's
right.
just it.
Okay, let us talk about the Lagos-Calabar Highway, which has it hasn't been in the news for a long time, but now we have the land owners on the Lagos-Calabar Highway still saying what the federal government is giving them as compensation isn't it at all. And now we have them saying that they are suing federal government over whatever it is that they're giving them. They are not okay with it. But we have Umahi vowing to continue the project regardless of whatever it is that is going on, saying that government is paying compensation. So what should be the problem?
Well, there might be a problem with how much compensation you are paying. If the people you are paying this compensation consider it not adequate.
One of them said, I'll make this in a day. What is this?
Okay, so he might not be interested, or she might not be interested in that compensation. But what's the reality? Reality is government owns all lands. From state to state, government owns. They could revoke anything anytime. And so what the law says is, if you want to use it for the greater good of the people, and if you can prove that in court. So I don't see them getting anything, going to court. What I believe is, I think they should expose those compensations to the people more. And we will be able to say, you are going to now. Or, government,
what is this?
You take this away from somebody who makes this daily, and then you give this. So I think it should be court of public opinion. That other court, I doubt very much.
All right, then. Let's open the phone lines for people to join in the conversation now at 0704 100 1887 or +234 704 700 8873. But before that, we have to listen to this as a caution.
Thank you for your attention. It's been lovely to have you keeping it locked on Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Now is the time to join in the conversation, to have the world hear your voice, because we are the people's voice. Meanwhile, while you contribute to this program, kindly note that in accordance with broadcasting ethics, you are requested to keep your contributions modest, truthful, concise, and not offensive, inflammatory, or with tendencies to cause discomfort to anyone. Thank you. Now, let the conversation begin.
All right, 0704 1001 887. Or plus 234 704 70088. All right, we have this one from Isiaka Omajiswan saying, "Good morning, Maestro and the entire Kidibu FM. Really need a state police because we farmers will go back to farming without fear." All right, so this one from Imafu J. Peter says, "Children are hungry and crying, and we say we have fathers in the government of the country. No, there are not. God bless and heal our land." I can't take the one before that. 0704 1001 887 or plus 234 704 7008873. Those are the phone lines to call to join the conversation this morning. We have this news coming from Presidency saying that the State House 2025 budget will be on actual requirement. And yes, the Presidency is also asking the staff to embrace innovation because the budget 2025 will be on actual requirement of what they need. There's not going to be some form of excess. Maestro.
We'll see, because I told you I wasn't so interested in budgets. I lost interest in budgets because I've been reading budgets for a very long time, as much as I could, and I found there was no difference between budgets written in many years during the military. Figures, they just change a few figures. Figures are changing according to inflationary trends and so on and so forth. So at some point, I simply stopped reading budgets.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Bodega, Nero.
All right, sir. Your contribution.
Thank you. I just have a question because I'm confused with the issue of this democracy. I know we said we have three arms of government. We have the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. But invariably, we conduct elections for the executive, legislature, but we don't conduct elections for judiciary. How do we want them to be independent? That is the question. Thank you very much.
All right.
So even the ones that we conduct elections for, what's the difference that they make? We conduct elections. The elections themselves are very corrupt, and then the people we even put in all these offices go into the pool of corruption. And so, but the point is they evolve differently. The system that we adopted is the American system where you don't vote these people into offices. Though I know that they vote some attorney generals, they vote, in that place at the state levels. But when it comes to the national level, it's also by appointments and promotions and so on. So if we are going to now say we want to be doing promotion for judges, that will be a novelty here.
All right. Shalaju says the NBA is right, whether moral or not. It is the judge that should judge by the dictates of the law, not by the dictates of the leader in power and money, which is what we often get from judges.
When we talk about reality, that's me. Don't know. Reality is you give somebody, the person is grateful to you. And if we close our eyes to that, fine.
0704 1001 887. Hello, good morning. All right, do well to call back if you can. 0704 1001 887. Maestro, I know you do not want us to talk about Ajari's issue until we have a new development, but Nopeng is saying that if Ajaero, they've placed their members nationwide on a red alert, asking them to be ready. If Ajaero gets arrested, we're going to have issues. That is what they're saying.
It's rubbish. If Ajaero gets arrested tomorrow, and they give you, this is why we're arresting Ajaero.
Clear.
What would you then do? Wouldn't you look stupid? So what you should be insisting on is, if Ajaero is arrested without cause, if we see that this is victimization, this is what we would do. I mean, and you didn't even, you could keep quiet until
then
that thing happens. And immediately you see that his rights got breached, then you can do anything you have to do. But now you are preempting the whole thing, and you are making that, we were all proud of Nupeng once in this country. But everything has really collapsed.
Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is Lawal. I'm calling from Plateau State.
From Plateau. All right, your contribution, sir.
Well, it's not much of a contribution. It's just to appreciate what you people are doing there.
Thank you so much.
Your Mr.
Maestro, yes.
Yes, and yourself that is moderator there. So I pray God will give you people long life and strength enough to be able to do this program for a long time. I'm a Yoruba man from Ilorin, Kwara State, but I stay in Jos.
All right.
And most of the times I link up to this program almost every morning.
Thank
you very much.
The one that has been anchoring that program is a wonderful man. So I just pray God will give him more strength.
Thank you so much for that.
God will give me more strength, more life to be able to enjoy your content.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. We sincerely appreciate that. Regards to the whole of Plateau. All right, let us move on. 0704 1001 887 or plus 234 704 700 8873. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
I heard you from it.
All right, sir. Your contribution.
I think the essence of governance is to make life better for the people. That's the way Baba Ulawa did his own. He made sure that mercy are benefited from God.
Oh, please do well to call back again if you can. Idris Adisa says, good morning, Wuraola. I am thinking our reps and senators majorly contribute to our predicament because they are supposed to represent our interest. State police, a total local government autonomy, and all system errors can be achieved by restructuring. But do you think we can hold these people accountable? Hello, good morning.
Hello,
Good
Mr.
morning.
Maestro.
Good morning.
Well done.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
I see you as a solutionist.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
Comrade Taiwo from Malawi.
All right, sir.
I see you as a solutionist, not just mere analyst. Because the way you have been trying to have the newspaper interpreted to us is so great. May God continue to empower you. What concerns me most is that we have let me say the greatest monster contributing to the problem of Nigeria until the monster that is malversation, corruption in power. They have been proclaiming that they want to wipe corruption, and it is perceived. And you can imagine the magnitude of the suffering we have been facing in Nigeria as Nigerian citizens. I don't know the type of government we are running is never understood. May God help us.
All right, thank you. You see, corruption in power. How do you break it down? What's the definition? Now, when people want to talk about getting rid of corruption, where is your concentration? Your concentration is on the politician in public office. But what holds the politician in public office? What holds it? That's the civil service. But whoever talks about civil service, anything, nobody. We don't talk about that. And the politician cannot function coming in and out right through all these seasons without the civil service holding him in place. But nobody talks about the civil service. Every time we talk about corruption, we are fixated on politicians. So sometimes we don't even know what is wrong with us. And that's a major problem. You know, some of us are given the ability to recycle all these thoughts, some the little problems every day. But if we don't understand what's wrong with us like that, it's going to be very difficult.
All right. 0704 1001 887 or plus 234 704 700 8873. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good
morning.
morning.
This is Nira from Bodija.
All right.
Please, Mr. Maestro, you should have it at the back of your mind that majority of us are subjective. We are not objective. We only talk what we are made to believe, not what we understand, and have a good reasons and facts behind them. Thank you.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much. Thank you.
Okay. 0704 887 or plus 234 704 700 8873. Those are the phone lines to call to join the conversation this morning. This story on the front page of Nigerian Tribune, page 7, says ICPC warns against undermining Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from.
I want just to appreciate Mr. Maestro for what all your analysis he has been doing.
Okay.
Bless you.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. Okay, 0704 1001 887 or plus 234 704 700 8873. All right, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has warned against undermining the Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy. I thought we've gone past this.
No, we haven't. Because people appear to still be interested in seeking ways around this development. And at the end of the day, no harm will come to the governors because they are very, very secure in those offices. But the local government chairmen, though they are the ones I'm afraid, for, because a time will come when you will have to give account. And that time is not determined by you. It's going to be determined by circumstances. And anytime ICPC could come and say, give account, that's where the problem is. So we need to mind that, not saying that it's going to happen like that. I'm just saying within these 3 months grace, states, with their local governments and other stakeholders should be able to fashion out a system that would function very well to factor in this new development. It's not going to go away. It has come to stay.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, ma. Good morning. Debra from Ibadan.
All right, ma. Your contribution, ma.
Thank you, Oga Maestro. God will continue to enlighten your knowledge.
Amen.
Concerning these politicians, we leave the civil servants who keep trading the politicians year in, year out, and we will not talk. When the problem in the country arises, we continue blaming the president. We will leave the governors. We will not talk. Why can't you face the reality and tell it to the people? Our civil servants are 90% corrupt. Our governors are corrupt. We will not say anything about them. Only those on top will be attacking. God will heal our land.
Thank you so much, ma, for your contribution. All right, we have to go pay some bills now. When we're back, we'll continue the conversation in the studio and wrap up for the week. We'll be back.
88.7 FM.
18 months. 18 months. 18 months. Mr. Man, what did they happen for 18 months?
Nah, Hero Hunter, they are giving 18 months warranty on their motorcycles, though. A whole 18 months.
18 months warranty on their Okada? You sure say you know what you they talk?
Warranty na agreement when they follow product come. So sure say it stand well. Most machine, na 12 months warranty them they get. But the Hero Hunter warranty, senior all of them. With correct 18 months warranty, complete 1 year and 6 months. You no go spend copper from your pocket to repair your Okada engine. Na Hero Hunter go carry am with full chest. We move. Na Hero Hunter motorcycle. We go buy today. Hero Hunter. Save fuel. Save money.
I'm in love. Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Easy to open, easy to squeeze, easy to scoop and easy to stir.
Sonia tomato mix in a new standard pouch.
I am pregnant. It is important for me to take care of myself and stay healthy.
To be strong and have a healthy pregnancy, take iron and folic acid tablets every day when you're pregnant. This prevents anemia and helps maintain a healthy pregnancy. Visit your healthcare provider for regular antenatal care. This message is from the ANRIN Project or your state's Ministry of Health.
I'm in love. Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Easy to open, easy to squeeze, easy to scoop and easy to stir.
Sonia tomato mix in a new standard pouch.
Hey, Brekete, don't buzz Brekete with Glow Brekete 10X.
Talk true.
Yes, so with Glow Brekete 10X, every naira they count. Now, why you fit count on Glow for 10 times the value of your recharge, whether na voice or na data? Glow Brekete 10X, now the correct plan we go switch you, your family and your friends join. Hey, oh yeah, he never finish yo. Glow Brekete 10X go summon you one-time welcome bonus of 1,000 naira, double data bonus, and even bonus night data. Everything Brekete with Glow Brekete 10X. If you want to enjoy Brekete 10X, what do you they wait for? Rush go any Glow World building, kiosk, or activation center. Go collect your own Glow line. Or dial *301# to jolly. Make every naira count. Count on us for 10 times the value of your recharge with Brekete 10X. Glow, powering ambition.
Glow Unlimited.
IPTV 88.7 FM.
Big topic.
All right then. So let's talk about it then.
Yeah, it's a big one. You know, a frontline activist like Shewore, you know, asking people to, in that, because I didn't see his picture, but I think I know his voice. And he hasn't refuted it that he's the one in that group chat.
On that Twitter,
yes, asking
X,
people to raise $1 million for him, so that he could stage a protest in Nigeria in October.
Another one.
Yes. And I'm wondering, these are people who readily get such supplies of funds. Who do they account to? Because inside his own political party, where he is the presidential aspirant constantly, and the chairman of that political party constantly, he gets funds like this, and who does he account to? Who holds him to account for all the funds over the years that he's been getting? Where has he published in the papers before that I, Omoyele Sowore, I got this so amount of money from donors, and this is how I've spent the money.
This is what is left.
This is what is left. This is how we spent it. Where? Now, I'm not even interested in him doing that. I'm more interested in you criticizing others as such that they are not accountable, they are corrupt, they are this and that. You see, it's so convenient for us to do these things. Now, why would you be asking for money to stage a protest?
That you're still planning, not emotion.
Why
yet.
are you asking for money to stage a protest? Why? I'm wondering why. Because what would you spend the money on? $1 million. In Nigeria, that's massive amount, isn't it? So how do you account for these things? Isn't it important? If people feel like protesting, shouldn't they protest without you soliciting funds to come and encourage them to protest? So I wonder about these things so that we know when we talk about leadership and corruption, we should put everything in perspective in this country. Because the ones that we are not talking about today, they will grow to become the ones that we contend with tomorrow.
All right then. Bayon Leoladere says, may God help us in this country, our leaders and many citizens, to not do things with sense of morality again. We all have to have a change of mindset that will make us do our responsibility the way it should be. Whether, no matter who you are, Nigeria must be restructured, and Nigeria government at all levels need to find a way to stop this period of hardship. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, say your name and where you're calling from.
Okay. Salam brother. Namiola de Popo.
Calling from where?
Thank you for all that you have done.
Where are you calling from, sir?
Ibadan.
All right, sir.
Thank you for all you've been dishing down for us. And I thank Maestro for digging out one point that is major, the civil servants. They are the root of the corruption in Nigeria. And that one aside, all that you've been telling us, they are valid. And then, it is not proper to make yourself, as a year, what do you call it, to be the only one. It has to be a body. We all have to support him so that we change Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. All right, let's take one more call before we leave today. 0704-1001-887 or +234 704-700-8873. Femi Culture, thank you for your contribution. But I'm sorry I won't be able to read this comment. This is an attack on a person. Okay. Wow. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Nawal from Ibadan.
All right, sir. Your contribution quickly.
Thank you. I want to appreciate Mr. Maestro for the analysis so far. But I want to object the position that civil servants are the root causes of the corruption in Nigeria. Please, like your brother saying, the politicians are elected to sanitize the system. And so I will not want to support the position that the civil servants are the root causes.
The last caller said that.
I didn't say that.
The last caller said that.
Because it's not possible for civil servants to be the root cause of corruption. You know, they give life to it. They are not the root cause. They sustain it. Politicians come into those offices and they go. If there's no sustenance, it will die. But because there is sustenance, that is a fertile ground to keep it alive. That is why in that continuity, you have the sustenance of corruption there.
Olaide Bano says, thank you, sir, Maestro. This has always been my question about Showore. Maybe your comments will open some people's eyes on the $1 million fund request. This can be beneficial in agricultural sector rather than protest. All right, we have to leave the studio now to come back next week, Monday, to talk about our great nation.
Don't
Nigeria.
forget, 7 o'clock on Sunday.
Till 9 p.m.
Let's meet then.
All right, my name is Wuraola Yusuff, and we'll be back, God willing, by Monday. Have a nice weekend.